I have never seen any country in this world that is as corrupt as Nigeria. Even in COVID, I have not seen it. How come an agency was conceived, concocted, created, pushed through a supposedly system that ordinarily would screen everything, to the point it is now that perhaps the whistleblowing mechanism was activated and it has not been discovered that such an illegal agency is existing. But it has passed through the route to the point it is.
Undetected.
Undetected. When these things happen like this, it tells you, it triggers something that all is not well with our country. Adeyemi, assuming he's a fraudster as it were, how could he have penetrated these ministries and agencies?
Without an inside collaborator.
This one I'm telling you, he couldn't have gotten the far he went without collaborators.
But
because
they said he forged the signature of the secretary to the government of the federation.
Okay, sir.
Femi Gbajabiamila.
Okay.
That's what they said.
Okay. He forged the secretary. He forged the signature. That is one arm, one aspect of the registration process. Okay, if you are not saying it was forged, how come his budgetary request
was given?
We are not more regretful about how we perpetrate corruption. We are no more regretful. We are not more remorseful. You know, we do it with both faces. We have acquired, won the gap, as if corruption is the reason we were created, the reason Nigeria got its independence in 1960. It's the reason Nigeria was amalgamated in 1914. If I were the president, immediately I step into office, I will expand our prisons, correctional centers. Didn't I say that?
Excuse me?
I will expand our prisons.
Why are you expanding
which is not the correctional center?
Why would you do that?
Say that?
Yeah, you said that.
Yes,
but why?
Because that will tell you that I'm ready to do my work. Do you know my work is that? Let me tell you. I will expand the correctional center to making you know that, see, every day, thousands of corrupt Nigerians will be cooling their heels in the prison.
The Nigerian Police Force has arrested the father and also a family member of the embattled Director General of the purported Presidential Economic Advisory Council / Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council, Adeyemi Adeniyi, in Ogbomoso, Oyo State. Recall that Adeniyi had gone into hiding following revelations that he had allegedly scammed the federal government through the creation of a fake presidential council. The arrest came on the day the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation clarified that no Central Bank of Nigeria account was successfully opened for the controversial council, insisting that no public fund had been released to the body despite its budgetary allocation, contrary to the position of the presidential spokesman Bayo Onanuga. Now, the development comes amid controversy surrounding the purported PFIPC, which the presidency has described as a fictitious agency. Adeyemi is facing charges bordering on alleged forgery, impersonation, and related offenses over his purported appointment as Director General of the Council, and the case is currently before a federal high court in Abuja. And today, Tuesday, the Senate will be discussing about the issue during plenary to understand how budgetary allocation was given to a fake agency without due process. But this issue has highlighted the rate of corruption and lack of accountability and due process, with the fake agency opened an account in the central bank. Meanwhile, like I said earlier, the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation yesterday disowned that claim that the purported PFIPC opened an account with the Central Bank of Nigeria. Now, responding to claims made by Prince Adeniyi Adeyemi, the self-acclaimed Director General of the Council, the presidency had said Adeyemi misled the officers of the Accountant General of the Federation and opened a CBN account. But like I said, the AGF said no money has been paid into the account. But as the investigation continues and the shame and embarrassment hit home, the growing call of accountability can never be overemphasized, and a need also for us to totally look at it on this edition of Dialogue. We'll be looking at corruption, governance, and a call for accountability, looking at what really is playing out at the moment, with that purported shame of a fake agency now being given allocation from a budget that was thought to have gone through the total process before it came to the House, or rather before it came to the table of Mr. President to put paper to pen, and actually now coming into law. But anyway, it is not unlawful for us to talk about it, hence the need for us to really look at it today on the show. And who better to help us talk about it rather than a member of the civil society organization, the push for good governance and democracy in Nigeria. And I'm talking of no other person but the very Talakawa's own. I'll rather call him Comrade Emeka Nwokocha. Comrade Emeka Nwokocha, nice having you on the platform, but I doubt if the father of Adeyemi will be happy where he is at the moment. But all the same, good morning and welcome to the show.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you, my crew. Thank you very much for having me.
Well, anyway, I rather want us to start with the event that played out yesterday. The information reaching us is that the Nigerian Police Force, VA, not the Oyo State Command, but basically straight from Abuja, has come to arrest the father and a purported family friend of Adeyemi that is now at large. But as much as I want you to look at whether it is right that the father was arrested and not the son, and why the mother was left off the hook, I want us to first of all look at the whole issue as it concerns this very mild drama that might end up taking an award as one of different dimension, one of fake agency, one of getting money straight for the budget, one of you gave me a way to go ahead, and you did not. I'm talking about the SGF. And also one of, this is the first time we're hearing such a story. So what's your view on this itself?
My crew, thank you very much. If you go through the narrative, you will discover that it is not easy for anybody to penetrate government institutions, high-ranking government institution, to the extent of creating a supposedly agency, and not just creating an agency. The agency is running, and the budgetary allocations, had been approved for the agency. Even when we are hearing now that no money has been disbursed. But
so they said.
But to start with, Mr. Mike, the question now is this. Nigeria is a federal republic. Nigeria is manned by supposedly capable persons from the president trickle down. Then the question we'll be asking now is, how come an agency was conceived, concocted, created, pushed through a supposedly system that ordinarily would screen everything, to the point it is now that perhaps the whistleblowing mechanism was activated, and it has not been discovered that such an illegal agency is existing. But it has passed through the route to the point it is undetected until it is functional, it is operational, and a DG is in charge. So there are a whole lot of issues that need to be talked about, because it is not a mere crime. It is a sophisticated crime, supported by collaborators within the government agencies. You cannot take it away. So, but my concern is that as it is now, the Nigerian police force, should do due diligence investigation, unearth all these mysteries and set the narrative right. Because it's going to be a national dilemma that such a thing could happen before our very eyes. And if you allow this thing, or rather if we sweep this crime under the carpet, it will give room for further crime and further fraud. And you cannot imagine if there could be fraud. It shouldn't be within this system. Because this system is supposed to be totally clean.
Okay, now I'm happy you said they should try and unearth those responsible for this. But
The collaborators.
yeah, collaborators. What's even more striking and more baffling to Nigerians is the fact that he had the audacity to invite ministers to his office. He had the audacity to invite ambassadors to his office. He had the audacity to even give EFCC, our anti-graft agency, an award. And they came there to a fictitious agency to claim their award. So my question now is two. Number one, do you feel there's this lack of collaboration within sister agencies under government that they could not really ask questions? That's number one. And number two, just like what you said, collaborators in government. Can this be done without highly placed collaborators, not just only collaborators? We have some names, but we do not want to mention on the account of the investigation still ongoing. Do you feel highly placed persons are totally behind this?
There's no doubt about
those two important questions.
There's no doubt about that. That this could fly through our faces, coming from a supposedly decent, segment of our entity. We tell you there are more to it than meets the eye. Now, let me tell you, sir, there's something they call sabotage. That is why I'm always pained about how public services are being delivered in this country. The average Nigerian man, who performs this public service, is not patriotic, does not believe in this entity called Nigeria. There's no patriotism, there's no accountability, there's no probity, there is no transparency. So when such things wrong, becomes a celebrated virtue, becomes, the order of the day, becomes the standard. So government, public services, will be given, performed, with levity. So, because there is grip is not there, because the commitment is not there, the belief is not there, the patriotism is not there. Even when you see the criminal, you just look at it. You don't consign me. You don't have a stake in it. All you are after is, at the end of the day, let your salary be paid. And you still know that every person within the government circle tends, or looked at every opportunity and possibility to steal, to change the system. Mike, I will say it here without my whose us is God. From the cleaner down up to the DG, every looks out for an opportunity to change the system. The big man, the DG, is doing it. All his collaborators, they are doing it. So the small man also has acquired that culture, that toxic culture. So when these things happen like this, it tells you, it triggers something that all is not well with our country. Adeyemi, assuming he's a fraudster as it were, how could he have penetrated these ministries and agencies?
Without an inside collaborator.
This one I'm telling you, he couldn't have gotten the far he went without collaborators.
But because they said he forged the signature of the secretary to the government of the federation.
Okay, sir.
Femi Gbajabiamila.
Okay.
That's what they said.
Okay. He forged the secretary. He forged the signature. That is one arm, one aspect of the registration process, or rather bringing this agency to being.
To life.
Like previous times will tell you here, during their investigation, it says about 21 agencies, have questions to answer. And if you go through their write-up, you will come to discover that this is not something that you just wake up, you just go and establish an office. No. Okay, if you are not saying it was forged, how come his budgetary request
was given?
I'm asking you now.
Now, let's come to that because, anyway, I do more of the asking and I appreciate if you do more of the answer. Now, let's come to that. Just in the news today and in major dailies, Godswill Akpabio was exonerated from this issue. And the reason they exonerated him from the issue was, I'm talking about the allocation being given to this agency. Godswill Akpabio was because they felt he did not know more of this agency. It was not a one-on-one thing because they had different committees that were saddled with the responsibility of oversight. It would have been through these oversight committees that they would have found out that this was more of a quack, a fake agency. And like we do know with credible information reaching us, in the next 1 hour time, the Senate will be deliberating on this very issue we are talking about if they've not started. We've not gotten wind of if they started, but they are going to talk about this issue this morning to know why this guy or this agency got 1.3 billion allocation from the 2026 budget. So my question now to you is, if you are to hold anybody responsible, sir, as it concerns that value allocation, undermine the office of the Accountant General and said no money has been paid into the account on the CBN, but he has an account that he opened on the CBN, who will the bulk of blame go to? Should it be the National Assembly, who has now in every way shifted themselves away from it? Or should it go to that of the office of the Accountant General of the Federation and that of the executive?
I wouldn't want to drive roughshod on issues of national interest.
Okay.
So that I wouldn't jump the gun.
Okay. And you won't preempt investigation.
I wouldn't mix the gear.
Okay. Okay.
The issue is that there are many agencies that are to be queried.
Okay. On account of this.
On account of this.
Okay.
Did you know that this very agency requested for 314 staff? That it was that the numbers were approved. Did you know?
Yeah, we got wind of.
And the process of approving that staff is not just the responsibility of one agency. It goes through.
That's why I asked you an initial question.
This I'm saying,
there no collaboration between these agencies?
A lot. That's why I'm saying one will need to be careful so that you'll be able to catch all the collaborators, because there are so many across board. That is why the police must do what's called due diligence investigation. See, there are so many heads.
So due diligence investigation means arresting the father.
No.
And looking for the mother.
No. We haven't come there. We haven't gotten there.
Okay.
For me, I don't know, what they are basing the investigation on.
That made them
that will lead to the arrest of the father. Because ordinarily, you don't pursue issues like this by proxy. The father is not the one that committed the crime, unless there's a linkage, which you and I may not know.
Crime. Okay.
But if that is not in existence, they do not have any constitutional right to go after the father. No. He's not the one that committed the offense. Let's all be wise for once. So what I'm saying is, police must, because it's the importance of this police, Mr. Mike. I wouldn't want to rob them of the credibility, because I know what that institution means. Unless for the fact that over time we have seen that institution not holding forth. Okay. Ordinarily, the police has the capacity to unearth these wrongs and be able to arrest, every person that is culpable. Okay. Then if that be it, then that's why I'm telling you that heads go roll. Heads go roll. Because it is a very huge crime. So I think what you should be talking about now is that the presidency should give the police full authority to go all out. And the police, Tunji, whom I have always, been applauding, because he is bringing some policies to play in the police system, that I believe, would a kind of transform that institution for better performance. I think he should come all out. They have the best hands and go into this. Get every person involved across board, because This crime I'm talking about, Mike, it is a sophisticated crime. And I will tell you, the big wigs, the big names are involved. You can imagine the bold face, the boldness with which this man, goes about this supposedly fake agency. The bold face. Yeah, are you there? So that it is coming now after months tells you that our system is not top notch.
Okay,
This kind of crime ought not to even pass the first stage. It ought to be dictated. Okay. That's why I'm telling you that those who are running the affairs of this country are the various parastatals. There is no patriotism. There is no commitment. And that is the reason you are saying what we are saying.
Okay. Now, let's look at it in a more different light. And I want us to still remain with the budget. Because if the scandal of him creating the agency is one, having allocation from the budget is another. Now, let's stick with the budget because many are now questioning the budget itself, especially after that report coming from IMF also said that about 8.83 trillion naira was spent by this administration outside the budget. Undermining, we do know that just day before yesterday, on Sunday precise, the Minister of Finance and coordinating Minister of the Economy, Taiwo Oyedele, came out to refute that very allegation. But now let's look at the budget itself. It was only recently, last month, 22nd to be precise of last month, that the National Assembly had to allow the third quarter of the 2025 budget to run into this year, running from June the 30th to September of this year. That means what we are doing is we already have a chaotic budget that is not following through. We are now bringing back things of last year and we are running it this year. Now, do you feel that the lapses, the opacity of the budget is why it can easily be manipulated and easily be shortchanged, not to indeed give the people the benefit they need to get from the budget itself? Let's understand our budget and how chaotic and how uncertain it has become over the years.
So much like you made use of one very good word, the opacity.
Yes.
That is it. That is it. Because our governments, they dread transparency. There's one thing they call OGP. Our governments loathe transparency. They operate in secrecy. Ordinarily, when a budget is about to be created, it's expected that civil society, the citizens, must have a buy-in. Your books must be made clean, open, for people, to vet it, to make their contributions. So if they had been operating on that pedestal, people would have been interested in asking questions or two. But the way they operated, it appears that there are certain things they don't want the citizens to even get to know about. So we are operating in opacity because they have ulterior motive. Because the government is a public institution, that everything that runs within government is supposed to be run in the open. Then why are you not wanting the people to understand and know how governance is run? Because if the people follow through and understand the mechanisms about budgeting and implementation, right? Most of the ills, most of the corruption, that trail budgetary allocation and implementation will be open. So they rather keep you in darkness so that they can have a field day to continue on the looting, on the snatching, on the misappropriation, mismanagement that have become the order of the day in our governance system. So it has given room for such fictitious agency to exist. Because when I call civil society organization citizen, most of us are even more endowed, even than the people, who are even managing these agencies. Because Nigerians are well educated. If you go through the profile of this civil society organization, you'll be surprised at the personalities you see that run them. But the government is so secretive, does not want the people to know what they do. And that is why these illicit, operations and transactions happen. And it now gives room for the collaborative actions to happen, because everything is done in secrecy. They speak in secrecy, they convoke in secrecy, and they do everything they want to do in secrecy. So everything about them is secrecy, secrecy, secrecy. So anything, that would hurt the system will definitely come to be. And that is exactly what we are seeing currently now. But if they would tell themselves the truth, in subsequent times, I want to see a situation where when actions like this, is about to happen, the citizens must be carried along.
So you feel if that is being done,
yes,
it will help to checkmate.
Obviously, it will help to checkmate. See, I am privileged to belong to an association called Budget Committee Group.
Okay.
Right? We do it yearly. Okay. We vet the state government's budget.
Delta State
budget.
Okay.
And we limit our interventions on 4 critical areas: agriculture, education, water resources, and another, health or thereabout. When we do this, we see the allocations, we query, we intervene, and we ask questions. And at times we make recommendations to them where we feel that an improvement needs to be done. Now, if that becomes the standard, just as we have that opportunity, other organizations have that opportunity. In other ways, you will discover that budgeting process
will have severe scrutiny.
What? Severe scrutiny. And that's the essence of governance.
But you feel the federal budget doesn't have that caveat?
Who says even if it has it, most of these beautiful, recommendations or policies, most of them exist on paper.
Okay.
Yes.
Not actionable.
Not actionable. Not actionable. I will definitely tell you, even in the course of wanting to, approve a bill at the National Assembly, they will tell you, there is always an opening, a window, for the public, to look at the bill and make a contribution.
Public
Mr. Mike, I want to tell you, public hearing. You are doing a public hearing, at the end of the day, you will limit it in Abuja. See, if you are sincere, the public hearing, the committee will definitely tour the states. And not only touring the states, it can be segmented. As in data, we have 3 senatorial districts. Tour the 3 senatorial
you can just even do the 6 geopolitical zones.
See, but at the end of the day, when you end it in Abuja.
Okay, well, we are not ending our discussion.
There's always, a kind of it becomes so hackling that people cannot actually have opportunity to making their inputs into all these things.
Well, I'll plead with you. Well, in case you're joining us, and it's a major discussion today, we're talking about corruption, governance, and accountability, especially after that very unfortunate and embarrassing knowledge that there's a fake agency that seems to be in our federal secretariat that has now gotten our federal allocation and that has another federal look. But everybody is saying, how come the federal government does not know that there's a former guy that was indeed running a fake agency? Oh, the F's are many. But anyway, that's what we're having as a major discourse today on the show. And we're really looking at it as we talk about governance, corruption, and indeed the call for pure accountability. That's what we're having. I will still have no other person but the Talakawa's very own Comr Emeka Nwokocha. Now, let's look at the issue of corruption, because that's where we're going to next.
Yeah.
Nigeria, in February, when we had the recent Transparency International Corruption Index, we were put at 142 over 182 corrupt nation in the world. Formerly, we were in 140. We slipped 2 places down. But funny enough, we are still with our point. We are 26 out of 100. So you understand what corruption is. Now, Nigeria is still riddled and being bamboozled with a whole lot of corrupt practices. And we seem to be getting the left eye as it concerns corruption and how he has infested into our very fabric of life, especially when it comes to governance, because governance is what we're talking about here. Now, let's try and understand that transparency release in February still brings us to the big question. Why are we not winning the war against corruption? Why is corruption now being more like instituted? Those days you are walking down the street, before you see a security agency asking for bribe, it is something they do in the outside, not in the glaring public. But these days, while you are in public transport going, you see the police say, bring my water. And if you do not bring my water, they will pack you. Now, it looks as if corruption is now the order of the day. You go to many agencies, as being said, if you do not give kickback, most certainly you will never get the contract. It has even now come into our educational system. You heard a report that said just yesterday that we might at the end lose almost all our medical doctors as they graduate on the account of not only poor infrastructure, but corruption that has riddled our health sector. So it looks as if you look at every fabric of the society, corruption is the order of the day. Mr. Emeka Nwokocha.
Yes.
I'd rather call you comrade now, because I need the comrade insight into this.
Yes, Mr. Mike.
Why are we so embedded in corruption? Why is it becoming more of an endemic situation for us that we cannot riddle ourselves out of it?
Good. Thank you very much. Mr. Mike, do you know, I have always said that governance is not a tea party.
No, it's not. Neither is it a coffee party.
Yes, I have always said that,
or kunu party.
That governments are not created in heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah? People desiriously, committedly, intentionally build government.
Yes.
Good. Now, Mr. Mike, you have asked a very salient question. When I was coming here, along the express, the bus driver was flagged down by the police who mounted a checkpoint.
To check.
Now, the check now is that the language they speak, where is their 200 naira or thereabout? The man said, I'm just hitting the road. I have not, done any trip yet. That on my return, I will give money. The policeman felt angry, as if that man had violated a fundamental rule upon which the police institution was founded. He didn't say the man did not have a driving license now. That he was not able to park to give him money, that money. Park there. You have violated the template of policing in this country. Mr. Mark, let me tell you, sir. Do you know my pain? We are not more regretful about how we perpetrate corruption. We are no more regretful. We are not more remorseful. We do it with both face. We have acquired, won the gap, as if corruption is the reason we were created, the reason Nigeria got its independence in 1960. Is the reason Nigeria was amalgamated in 1914 to become an entity. Mr. Mike, the Nigerian police force is the civil institution that is close to the public, true of us.
True.
And it ought to be among the institutions that holds integrity, sanity, very strong. True of us.
True.
In other words, it is a gateway. When the foreigner comes to the country, the first, interaction is the police. Now, look at the Nigerian police force that this country is advertising. They no longer do corruption in the hidden. See, right there, you are seeing them, pocketing the money, bring out the money, giving out change. See, what is happening in this country, it can't even happen in Kovan.
Come on.
What is happening in this country? And mind, you know why? Do you know why I'm so? They do it impunity, which means who tells you that if before they left their stations, it was an order, it was an established norm. The IG knows about it.
As alleged.
If he does not know about it, if he does not know about it, if you telling me he does not see the police people, the way they conduct themselves, you know, and make Nigerians and extort Nigerians in the streets, on the road, and he's not saying anything, he does not know about it.
In his office, and he's coordinating.
I thank God the IG Dusu didn't join the police and wore that rank immediately he got into the job. Thank God he graduated through the ranks. Thank God. Thank Allah. He graduated through the ranks. If he will be fair to himself, if he will be fair and fair to this institution, this entity called Nigeria, is you telling me he does not know how corrupt the police is? But now the question is this.
You said it initially that he's coming to change.
This is what I'm telling you. I'm giving him kudos because of some policies he's rolling out.
So this will also happen.
What I'm telling you now that he has to move fast because the corruption in the police force, they are not dealing with it. Do you know why it baffles me? The policeman on the street who is perpetrating this extortion does it with both face, with impunity. He does not care. He does not even care. That means that he has a backing.
Just like this fake agency had a
That means he has a backing. A policeman that knows there will be consequence management to be meted to him. That when the civilians goes to the police and reports what he does, that he risks losing his job. He will be conscious of what he says. But this one, they are advertising it. They are even intimidating you that if you don't give me this money, I will deal with you here and nothing will happen. And that is the manner they go about their duties. And this country condones it. The National Assembly condones it. The Presidency condones it. The Governor condones it. The State Assembly condones it. Commissioners, ministers, everybody condone it. And you are telling me, what are you going to talk about corruption in this country, Mr. Mike? What? See, the Transparency International ranking, global ranking, they are so fair. Nigeria, they have never seen any country in this world that is as corrupt as Nigeria. Even in COVID, I have not seen it.
Okay, well, okay.
I have not seen it.
Comrade Emeka Nwokocha,
you are touching me where it pains me more.
We will not go to COVID to ask.
This country is gone.
Okay, well,
corruption has finished this country.
Okay,
this country is bleeding. It's on life support.
I will plead with you to hold on.
Yes, I must say it without. My devil's house is God.
We will not go to Coven to assess whether we are the most corrupt.
I'm telling you,
spiritually or physically. But let's come back physically now and deal with another major issue. Sorry, it looks as if I struck a nerve. But anyway, let's now look at another major one that I might feel will also irritate you, because if we are having investigation, we are in a country that runs through constitution. And we're talking about the 1999 constitution as amended. Let's look at the judiciary. Because we do know that the police do not take the laws into their hands. All of these cases will eventually go to the judiciary to get its mark. Now, my question now is, do you feel in recent time, our judiciary is living up board? And the reason I'm asking you this, I rather want us to go to some high-profile cases that was recently being judged or looked at. And some of the cases are here, and I rather want to read them. If you take your mind to the 7th of May this year, the former Minister of Power was convicted on a 12-count charge of 33.8 billion corruption money laundering, and he was sentenced to 75 years in prison. One of the highest we've seen. That's not only all. The former acting Accountant General of the Federation was sentenced to 72 years in prison without an option of fine on March 23rd, 2026 for 9 counts of a multi-billion naira laundering. That is not all. Recently now, we are still talking at the Adeyemi Adeniyi. He's also facing a federal high charge in Abuja for alleged forgery and impersonation, which is the bone of our discussion. The former governor of Kaduna State is facing a 10-count charge for alleged abuse of office, money laundering, and fraud amounting to 579.6 million naira, and which is $1.1 million. I can go on and on. These are recent cases in our courts that have got convictions. The convictions are amounting to almost 200 years, and some of these persons are now being made to face the music. My question now is 2 questions. Number 1, are we moving on the right track as it concerns conviction of corrupt persons? And number 2, do you feel the judiciary should live above board to help deal with these growing cases of corruption, especially in governance? Because that's why we're having this discussion.
Mike Ray, if you recall, it is possible it's on this platform or other platforms and had the opportunity to speaking about national issues.
Yes.
I say if I were the president, immediately I step into office, I will expand our prisons, correctional centers. Didn't I say that?
Excuse me?
I will expand our prisons.
Why are you expanding
which is not the correctional center?
Why would you do that?
Say that?
Yeah, you said that.
Yes,
yeah, but why?
Because that will tell you that I'm ready to do my work. Do you know my work is that? Let me tell you. I will expand the correctional center to making you know that, see, every day, thousands of corrupt Nigerians will be cooling their heels in the prison.
Okay.
To tell them that I'm ready for work. The prison capacity I have here cannot take the number of corrupt persons if we are to clean the audience table. You see the prison, they can't even take, see, the prison can't even take a state, the corrupt person. See, this country, our judiciary, let me tell you, I tell people, I said, do you know, even if everybody is crazy, there's an institution that must be sane, judiciary. Assuming all of us are mad or have contracted the spirit of madness, that the judiciary
should be the only sin.
Must live
above
up to the calling. Because if that sector, judiciary, the police, if the rods, that has crept into our fabrics, find its way in this institution, the country is gone. My friend lawyers, do you know what I tell them? The police in those days, they were highly respected personnel. So respected in this country. What is the respect for the police now? There's total loss of public trust first. The citizens don't believe in them. They have lost every credibility. They have lost every sense of sanity and dignity currently now. How did it happen? Because they gave it away. Corruption was crept into the system and they embrace it. And they run with it. They breathe it, they wear it on their tongue, they sleep with it, they romance it, they drink it, everything. Now, when you mention police, it's like you are mentioning a scarecrow. I told my friend, lawyers, you guys have started again corruption. In no time, when you mention I'm a lawyer, somebody will turn his face. Because there are some institutions that ought to be sacred. The sacrosanctity of these institutions I've mentioned ought not to be violated. In short, these inviolable institutions as it were. They tell you here that the courts is the common hope of who? The hope of what? The common
man, yeah.
Mr. Mike, I will say it here. Which court is the hope of the common man? Go there. I go there every day. I have a case. My younger brother has a case in court. Do you know, even when the court granted him bail, because when the police, has filed the case, the first appearance, a bail must be taken at the court, or they will take you,
bail condition.
To take you to the prison as a remand. Yeah. Good. Mr. Mike, when somebody is bailed, granted bail at the court, what money do you need to pay? I'm asking you now.
No, so far it means it's bail bond.
What money are you to pay? You are not paying this money and you are being receipted. All of them have people that front, scouts. They'll just come with you. And at that stage, there is nothing you can do. You don't want your brother to be taken to the prison, to the remand. You will be compelled. You start negotiating. He has been granted bail, no? Yes, you granted bail, but not granted bail. You have fulfilled the obligation. The corruption must, you have not You have not paid libation. The gods must be served. Libation must be poured.
But the gods are not crazy. But anyway.
So at the end of the day, I'm telling you, and it goes right. The magistrate is aware. The judges tell them are aware. These things happen in their court. They know.
But
the lawyers, they know.
Should we not celebrate the recent success we've made?
Let me see, sir. How many, if we are to actually fight corruption, the encyclopedia, you know how big it is. Within 1 year, we would have written 100 encyclopedias that contain the names of Nigerians that have been jailed. You don't know what's encyclopedia? You know how bogus. In a year, if we are serious, assuming we want to acquire the character of China to deal with corruption, first thing corruption, the encyclopedia would have written 100 encyclopedias containing names of Nigerians, and we are not tired. We keep writing. That will telling you. You are mentioning 4, 5 instances. Hey, what are you talking about? 5 instances.
Yeah, but these are well-known names.
What well-known? What? How well-known? How well? Which well-known of them? See, let me tell you. A crime is a crime. Is it this not about country? Thank God I'm the president of the Talakawas. So I know my constituents. I live in the suburb. I live in the trenches. I live in all the nook and crannies, as you may call it, the common, not me. I live there. So I should tell you our feelings, and I should tell you what goes on. Judiciary. If our judicial officers will tell themselves the truth and say, let us save this country, everything will be up and running. But the in thing is, every person wants to be the choice mansion. Everybody wants to be a money bag. Nobody respects integrity. Nobody respects honesty any longer. So those things do no longer hold again. So in as much as all of us have believed to kill this country, because it's more or less like, a decision we have taken, we must kill Nigeria. In anywhere you find yourself, we must kill Nigeria. Why I'm mentioning the judiciary is because of the sacredness of these institutions. That they are the ones, that would rescue this country, assuming all of us are drifting. But if that institution is upright, is up and running, forget it. The society will stand firm, judiciary and the police. And these two institutions, it's nothing to write on about.
Okay, well, anyway, that's why we're having our discussion.
Yes.
We're talking about accountability, corruption, and governance. Now, we can talk all we want. All you are saying is our societal value seems to be
eroded. The good values are totally eroded.
Hence, we now value money over integrity and honesty.
You know what, say anything.
Now, we pray we do not see worse than this. Now, let's now come back to even the very reason we started this discussion. And we're talking about the fake agency that is purported to have been existing for close to a year now, if not more, and that has only just gotten wind of, and DME is on the run. His face is out there, so anybody that sees him in keke, please call the police. But let's leave that and come to this now. How do you feel this will end? Because there's this growing feeling that we hope that this will not also be swept under the carpet as other cases has gone. And you could understand the magnitude and the anger being shown by many Nigerians on this case. Atiku Abubakar came out to criticize this. Peter Obi was shouting to the high heavens about this. A whole lot of persons, Falana came out to say, a lot of persons, even if you watch other sister stations, the presenters are really angry. I could still remember Mr. Charles of Arise, the way he spoke for the first time with so much anger on this issue, it is not abating. So let us understand. Do we really have that fear that this will be swept under the carpet? And do you see this case running the full length in getting justice to put an end to this?
Nigerians, might get justice because it is our money. Okay. It's our affair. Nigerians might get justice if you and I did not close our mouth.
I know we're talking about.
Yes. So I think I have to activate the civil society organizations now. let us up our game. Let us, let us sweep on this. Feast on the development.
Okay.
And propagate it.
As
start
a yardstick
calling.
for demanding
Yes, and start
accountability.
demanding accountability. And start demanding accountability. And now start calling on the police to do due diligence investigation. Because, sir, I have said there are more to it than meets the eye. We're only looking at this at the very, at the surface. This thing is beyond what you think. It didn't just happen. Adeyemi didn't just create this thing. He is not a magician. Or are you saying it's the latest kind of Yahoo Nigerians are getting to know now? So that this thing could happen. If I were the presidency, I wouldn't even allow this thing to degenerate to the extent that, we start discussing it in public space. It should have been able, to find a solution to this thing and end it without you even knowing. Because it's a slight. Am I not speaking it here now? There's no way, yes. The integrity of our country, the image of our country must be protected, yes. But should we not tell the truth? If we must protect the image, those who are responsible for delivering services, they should mind themselves now. They say, he that brings ant-infested faggot into the house should not complain when ants start coming. Because they will come for it.
Like lizards.
Hey, lizards! They will come for it. So, you who is at the public, given, a kind of assignment to do, and we are paying you, would you not deliver your job? Yeah. Corruption is existing in the dictionary on its own. Corruption does not jump out of the dictionary and say, I want to possess you. It is we that go looking for corruption come to. There is way that perpetrated. Corruption is there. It could be a name there. In the Nigerian, administrative setting, corruption has no room. It will not just leave the dictionary and start possessing you. I want to possess you. You have to be corrupt. No. We willingly, intentionally, have put this country in the harm's way. And look at the way we're going. Perdition. Abyss. It is glaring. It's open. That this country will not survive if we continue like this. Even if the citizens did not throw, one pellet. This country on its own, the way it is running, must crash because no country survives this kind of character that the citizens are bringing to bear on public service. When we are supposed to protect this country, you don't even value your country, you don't love your country, you're not patriotic, you don't even love yourself, you don't even love your children. Because at the end of the day, life is ephemeral. We will die any time. That I'm here today, I didn't even know how I woke up. So, what legacy are you living? What country are you passing over to your children? And every day we celebrate marriages. If I were Nigerians, there should not be any marriages again until we feed this country.
Yeah, Haba.
Mike, you are not even scared. I'm scared about the future of this country. Every day I hit the road, I become panicky. Because I know the future is foreclosed. If we still continue on this path we are going. So it is threatening for any young man to say, I want to get married. If we love our children, our offspring, there's no white man. There's no white man, civilized man, who is a Nigerian, who wears the body of Nigeria, that want to marry and bring children into this country. Because bring into which country? This kind of country, to inherit this kind of country, unless we fix it.
Okay, anyway, that's why we're talking.
Unless we fix it.
And we're doing our own bid to see how we can also bring all of these issues to light and bring them to bear. But I feel we've brought this to conclusion. And I need to thank you so much. And I'm talking of no other person but the Talakawa's own. And I'm talking of Comr Emeka Nwokocha for coming passionately, as always, to talk about the issue of corruption, governance, and accountability on account of this recent revelation of a fake agency that has now been allocated 1.3 billion from the 68 point something trillion budget of the 2026 Appropriation Act and Bill. That has also, funny enough, been signed into law. So he's he has every right to collect his money.
He has every right.
Oh, come on.
They have knowingly or unknowingly legitimized illegitimate.
Forgive me for laughing. But they've signed it into law. The man has Well, anyway, let's leave that. But thank you so much, Comr Emeka Nwokocha, for coming to do this with us. We truly appreciate your time with us, and we're really grateful for it. Thank you so much.
Man, I love you guys for the wonderful work. God will compensate you guys.
Amen.
Keep running on this pedestal so that we can get our country, right again and running.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, more thanks to you guys for being with us and always being with us on this platform. We're really grateful for the comments and reaction that follows almost all of our shows. We are really, really appreciative. We see your reactions. We see how glued you are to this program. And we'll say we're really honored and grateful on account of it. But like I said, we'll always insist, let the discussion not end here. Give us more of your reaction as it follows this. What should be the final outcome of this very investigation? Would it come to a conclusion because Nigerians are angry and demanding justice on account of this fake agency? Would he have done it alone? Or do you feel there are some persons placed in high places that were indeed a part of this very huge drama that seems to be unfolding? Well, anyway, we'd like to get your comment on our different social media platforms. Funny enough, they're already there on your screen. Let's share, like, comment, and indeed, your reaction is truly appreciated. But anyway, I say, Michael Gobadia, we need to go on a break now. The news will come next, right here on Viewpoint on Atlantic TV.